Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prem. So once again, welcome to today's call, and thank you so much for joining us. Before we move on to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class, I would let all the devotees on the call to please go ahead with your introductions.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Dakshta from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balavrinda.
Krishna Balavrinda, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Balavrinda. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Leela Priya Radha Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisance to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from the
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Leela Priya Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shamagari Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Leela Priya Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Leela Priya Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Neena Mataji, Neena Radha Mataji. Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. This is Vrinda from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Leela Priya Radha Mataji, Dhanvat Pranams, please have some humble obeisances. Glories to Srila Prabhupada Gurudev and all the assembled devotees. This is Nanda Priya Narmada Devi Dasi from Charlotte, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Leela Priya Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. My Dandavat Pranams to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Susmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Any more introductions before we start the class? Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. We are extremely fortunate to have His Grace Ramgiridhari Prabhuji here with us today. And Prabhuji would be enlightening us by discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 8, and Verse 13. But before we dive into this next time class, I will request Balbhadra Kripa Prabhuji to share a brief introduction about our today's speaker, His Grace Ramgiridhari Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Balbhadra Kripa Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and over to you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So here is a brief introduction for our very of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. practicing Krishna consciousness since 1989 and hails from Sri Rangam, Tamil Nadu, India. Prabhu currently lives in Navi Mumbai. He is a trustee in Bhaktivedanta College, Radhadesh, and Alfred Ford School of Management, Belgium. Prabhu is responsible for collecting annual reports from all the ISKCON temples, preaching centers, Namahattas, and process and maintain the database. This service is under the purview of GBC of ISKCON. Prabhu is also director of North America Institute of Oriental and Classical Studies, Tennessee. Prabhuji is also one of the leaders of the Congregation Development Initiative of ISKCON Navi Mumbai. He organizes programs and preaches to young children and youth in Mumbai. He has a master's degree from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, BITS, Pilani, and Bachelor of Engineering from Anna University, Chennai, in Electronics and Instrumentation. Prabhuji is co-founder, managing director, and CEO of Gauranga Soft Tech Private Limited, a software development and technology services company since 2007. Co-founder and director of Goloka Education, an educational resource development company since 2011. And co-founder and director of Gokul Kids Education, an early childhood education initiative of Goloka Education. Hari Bol, Prabhu has many services. So, Dandava Pranam Prabhu, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji,
Hare.
for reading the introduction. Hare Krishna Ramgiridhari Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for your valuable time in association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, without further ado, I would like to request you to please take over from here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for engaging me in this service. It's always a pleasure, and also it's good to know that this service has been carried out for a very long time consistently. Any service that is consistently happening, we have to understand that it is in the mode of goodness, and for sure it will bring in some smile in the face of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for having me here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 8, text number 13. Soham Vikattamanasya Chirah Kayadharanite Gopayeta Haristvadhya Yaste Sharanam Ipshitam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Because you are speaking so much nonsense, I shall now sever your head from your body. Now, let me see your most worshipable God come to protect you. I want to see it. Demons always think that the God of the devotees is fictitious. They think that there is no God, and the so-called religious feeling of devotion to God is but an opiate, a kind of illusion, like the illusions derived from LSD and opium. Hiranyakashipu did not believe Prahlad Maharaj when Prahlada asserted that his Lord is present everywhere. Because Hiranyakashipu, as a typical demon, was convinced that there is no God and that no one could protect Prahlad. He felt encouraged to kill his son. He challenged the idea that the devotee is always protected by the Supreme Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurun Militam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Nama Om Vishnu Padayam Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Soham Vikatta Manasya Shirah Kaya Taramite Gopayeta Haristwadhyam Yaste Sharanam Ipsitam. Because you are speaking so much nonsense, I shall now sever your head from your body. Now let me see your most worshipable God come to protect you. I want to see it. So we have come to the climax of this episode of Prahlad Maharaj Hiranyakashipu tussle. Very soon, as per the Leela, Narshingadev is going to appear, and Prabhupada explains that Narshingadev appears to establish a fundamental point to the demons and atheists who doesn't agree God exists. So, to just disprove them, the Lord appeared. Of course, there are other reasons, but one of the primary reasons is the Lord appeared to make sure that no one in this world can challenge a devotee. This current context, the particular verse today that we are reading, is actually spoken by Hiranyakashipu. When Prahlad Maharaj survived every possible attempt of him being killed, Hiranyakashipu could not digest this fact. His animosity gone to an extent that he wanted to kill his own son. Demoniac people are so fallen that for just to kill, just to establish their point, they go to any extent to kill their own son. Srila Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita 17th chapter, shloka number 5 and 6, that these demoniac people may sometimes perform austerities, may sometimes perform certain actions which may sound like they are intelligent. If you read 7th canto, 3rd chapter, when Hiranyakashipu was glorifying Lord Brahma, after performance of a very severe austerity, Hiranyakashipu performed a severe austerity and Brahma appeared, and there are close to 78 verses wherein Hiranyakashipu is glorifying Lord Brahma. If you give those set of verses to some unknown people who does not have any information about Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu and their episode, Narsinghadev episode, they will think that Hiranyakashipu is such a saintly person. The way he glorifies Brahma, the way he surrenders to Brahma, the way he acknowledges Brahma's contribution. If you just remove the word Hiranyakashipu, all those words spoken by him were so wonderful in the sense that anybody would think that he is a very nice person, very nice devotee. That is why in the Krishna consciousness process, content is very good, but content without intent is absolutely rejected. In the verse 9th chapter, text number 26, Bhagavad Gita, the very famous verse of Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. In that purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that Krishna is using the word bhakti twice. Those who are superficial in their activities in their devotional life, they will use the word Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam and they will be focusing on the content, ingredients. But Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Krishna uses the word bhakti twice for a very simple and obvious reason, that without proper devotion, without proper attitude, without proper intent, any amount of offering will not satisfy Krishna. Here Hiranyakashipu is challenging Prahlad Maharaj. The reason he is challenging Prahlad Maharaj is because he thinks he is immortal. He thinks he has accomplished the most improbable thing on this world, because Brahmaji acknowledges. When Brahma appears in front of Hiranyakashipu, Brahma says that what you have done, no one else in this world has ever done or can ever attempt. And third, Hiranyakashipu is thinking that all these wonderful constructions, my palace, everything, they are constructed by me in front of my eyes, with my own masons, with my own karigar. How will Krishna come inside this? My son has gone mad. And last but not least, Hiranyakashipu is thinking he is great because so many great demigods and great personalities who are so-called leaders, administrative officers, they are already shivering, fearing about Hiranyakashipu. So these aspects put together make Hiranyakashipu extra confident that his son is faking. His son is 5-year-old boy, no experience, and talking something rubbish. And history is written based on what Prahlad Maharaj has accomplished. So as always, we will churn this current context with some sets of reflections. The first reflection is the nature of demoniac, materialistic, atheistic persons. It is very obvious that Hiranyakashipu did not accept Lord Narayana's presence. Because the way atheist, materialistic and demoniac people think, if they are not logically explained, if they are not experienceable by themselves, comprehensible, experienceable by themselves, if they are not getting any benefit out of it, then they start to think that they are all false. In fact, the so-called modern propaganda against Vedic civilization and Vedic system is such that they can't comprehend, so they say it is fake. They can't comprehend, that is why they think it is all mythology. They can't comprehend, that is why they think it is all fictitious. So the first reflection is, we need to be wary of this point of trying to understand things only logically. Nobody is saying we can't present logic, but Krishna consciousness is beyond logic. Krishna consciousness is beyond human comprehension. Krishna consciousness is way above, beyond our personal benefits and agenda. So that is a fundamental understanding of spirituality. But unfortunately, we being stuck to these conditional aspects, we are not able to understand the reality. So when we are becoming students of Krishna consciousness process, we are expected to go beyond logic, learn to see by hearing from a bona fide source, and not expect anything temporary benefit for oneself. These three aspects Hiranyakashipu was having. And exactly opposite was what Prahlad Maharaj's thought process is. Prahlad Maharaj is talking way beyond logical. It is not that what he was talking is not logical. It is way beyond logical. And he is literally comprehending what he was speaking because he was seeing Krishna everywhere. And Prahlad Maharaj is not expecting any personal benefit. So my first reflection is, if in our spiritual journey, if in our Krishna consciousness life, if you are hung up on these three aspects, we are definitely going to be having only primitive understanding of Krishna consciousness. That is why Pratyaksha Vada is not fully subscribed. Whilst Pratyaksha is a good pramana, but it is not the ultimate pramana. Only if you show me, I will believe. Only if I can comprehend, I will believe. Only if I am benefited, I will believe. That's not how we function. So when we are explaining Krishna consciousness to others, whilst Srila Prabhupada has taken utmost care to make it relevant and relatable, it is equally important for us to educate the masses to go beyond logic. Because Krishna or Krishna consciousness, which is a three-dimensional, four-dimensional subject matter, cannot be brought down to a lower dimension. Even though in lower dimension also we can explain, but people with poor fund of knowledge, using their own logic, they think this is something substandard. I'll give a very interesting example. For example, I have this water bottle. It's a three-dimensional object. This three-dimensional object anybody knows engineering or engineering drawing, we plot 3-dimensional object in a 2-dimensional plane. So this is a water bottle with so many attributes: blue color, silicone base, there is a silicone handle, and it has got a flask thermos functionality. This is called thermo flask. So many features, attributes, everything we are seeing. Suppose, for example, I now show the shadow of this water bottle to someone, but not show this. I only show a shadow, which is a 2-dimensional object. Right now it is 3-dimensional. There is length, width, height, and all positions. So many things are there, and plus additional attributes are there. Now I remove this bottle and project a shadow of this and ask someone who has not seen this bottle to describe the object by looking at the shadow. When you look at the shadow, and if you have not looked at the original bottle, you will be able to only guess to 60 to 70% of what this object could be. Even if you guess what this object is, you may not be able to guess certain attributes of it. The material with which it is made, the color in which this is done, the name that is printed on this. So several attributes won't come in the shadow. So similarly, when spiritual dimensional subject matter, when they are seen from a material dimension plane, without the participation of those with spiritual dimension, we will only make erroneous conclusion, as Hiranyakashipu did. The spiritual dimensional subject matter, which is about Krishna, Narayana, and the Supreme Lord and his glories, when Hiranyakashipu was looking based on his intellectual understanding, oh, this pillar, this building, these are all were made by me in front of my eyes. So there is no possibility that somebody is inside this. And all those reasons that I mentioned, I am great, I am successful, I am accomplished. So those all attributes make Hiranyakashipu believe that his conclusion was correct. So I want to conclude my first reflection by saying that spiritual dimensional subject matter need to be explained from a spiritual dimensional plane, which is about the mode of goodness, in a manner and a process that is recommended by the acharyas for a purpose to realize my constitutional nature, then the spiritual science can be understood. So a person who has seen this bottle, when he is with you, oh yeah, so this is a rectangle object. It may be like a water bottle. Somebody may guess. Said, yeah, this is not just water bottle. It is thermo flask. It is blue in color. It is made of so and so material. It can hold so and so quality of content. So the understanding becomes complete, which Prahlad Maharaj is trying to impart because of the demoniac propensity, the propensity wherein I believe, I conclude, I understand based on my inference. My inference is correct. My conclusion is correct. My logical reasoning is correct, and it is beneficial to me. Then I will subscribe. With that limited understanding, we will not be able to go anywhere. So that is my first reflection. In our devotional journey, we need to be very careful not to fall prey to such propensities. Second reflection. This is a very interesting story. I guess I have shared this earlier also, but in this context, it is important to highlight. This is from Ramayana, not directly from Ramayana, some version of the Lord Rama's pastime. So Ravana is already freaking out that Vanara Sena is going to attack. Ravana is already thinking how to prepare him for the fight. Generally, these demoniac people, the way they think is about all external things, as we just spoke. So Ravana thought the best preparation for me to face Rama and his Vanara Sena is to have my Sena ready and have backup Sena in place, and also make arrangements for surplus funds so that when war comes, I will be able to be victorious. So thinking like this, Ravana went to Bali Maharaj, his great-grandfather. Grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. So what happened was, when he went to Sutala planet, when he went to the planet to meet Bali Maharaj, Vamanadev was the gatekeeper. Vamanadev did not let Ravana go in, because Vamanadev was a small dwarf Brahmana. Ravana did not notice in his urgency or in his anxiety. So Vamanadev held on to Ravana and said, "Hey, who are you? Without my permission, how can you go?" Ravana said, "Oh, what the heck? Huh? Who are you, a small dwarf? Just stopping Lankeshwara?" So he didn't want to mess around the time there. So he became invisible and went in. Anyway, he got a special whack from Vamanadev, which happened to be his blessings. So Bali Maharaj welcomed Ravana. Said, "My dear Ravana, welcome, welcome. I have heard that you are going through some crisis. What made you to come here?" Ravana did not want to confess that he is in distress or he is afraid, he is in need of some help. So Ravana said, "No, there's nothing like that. I just came. It's been a long while since we met, so I just thought I'll meet you and have some chit chat." So Bali Maharaj said, "Okay, fine, all right. You are coming to my house after a very, very long time. So I should give you some gift." So Bali Maharaj took Ravana to his backyard. And he told, "You see, there is a mountain there. Its mountain is full of gold." So Ravana saw that mountain is a huge mountain. Huge. It is all full of made of gold. Bali Maharaj said, "I will give that mountain as a gift to you." So Ravana was super excited because in his back of his mind, he wanted to amass more wealth to handle the war. So when Bali Maharaj made this offer, Ravana immediately got excited and started to, feel very happy. Said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." So Lankeshwara, when he was trying to lift that mountain, he couldn't move it as an inch. So he told Bali Maharaj that this is pretty heavy. I will send my men and collect them. Bali Maharaj said, that's all right, no problem. But I want to give you a little history about this mountain. The history about this mountain is few hundred, few thousand years before, Hiranyakashipu, a demon, had a fight with Narsinghadev. And when they were having a fight, during the fight, one of the earrings of Hiranyakashipu fell off. One piece of the earring fell off. And this mountain is that piece. So Ravana started to think, oh my God, if earrings, a piece of the earring is so huge mountain, how would the earring look like? If the earring is so big, how would his ears be? And how tall, how huge Hiranyakashipu would be? And Bali Maharaj continued. That Hiranyakashipu was looking like a wasp in front of Narsinghadev. And that Narsinghadev has come as Lord Rama, so don't mess around with him. Look at the narration. He explained the form of Hiranyakashipu, and he explained how Hiranyakashipu looked in front of Narsinghadev, and he convinced how Narsinghadev is actually Lord Rama. So that whole night, Ravana couldn't sleep. He was constantly thinking about that scene. Oh my God, if this is a mountain, how big the ears, how big Hiranyakashipu is, and how big Narsinghadev could be. So my second reflection here is, many a times, demons, they are always in illusion. Because Hiranyakashipu had this illusion. Ravana had that illusion. All the demoniac people have this illusion. What is an illusion? The illusion is there is a so-called God nobody has seen. So why to worry about him? So my second reflection here is to say about the height of illusion of a demoniac person is such that he will defend his position with his or her superiority complex. So if any one of us are having this complex called superiority complex, what is the superiority complex? To start to make think, I am the best, I can do it, I will be able to handle it. So I, me, mine, I, me, mine. So having such a thinking is not very good. So my second reflection here is to say that a person who logically thinks only, who looks for benefit for himself, and who only when he is able to comprehend, he will subscribe. When superiority complex gets added to that configuration, then he will become a classified demon whom not normal people can handle. Sometimes the Lord has to come down to fix their situation. So Hiranyakashipu had the superiority complex. He thought that my 5-year-old son is talking nonsense. Most of us, as a practicing devotee, we have heard this Narsinghadev pastime several times. But when we churn the lessons underneath, sometimes we wonder if we have clear understanding in Krishna consciousness or we are still beating around the bush. The more you try to understand, the more you go deeper, the more you try to, analyze the science of Krishna consciousness, the more you get to know that you have only learned less. So hence my second reflection is about the demoniac nature comes out in the form of superiority complex. As Srila Prabhupada writes, demons always think that the God of the devotees is fictitious. They think there is no God, and the so-called religious feeling of devotion to God is but an opiate. It's illusory. So hence we have to be very careful not to fall prey to these superiority complex. Both complexes are questioned. Inferiority complex is also questioned. Oh, I cannot do anything. Oh, I'm so humble, I'm so fallen, I cannot do anything. Being fallen cannot be an excuse for not doing service. Being fallen is a reason why we have to do service. Similarly, we being intelligent should not make us feel proud, arrogant in front of the Lord. Rather, we should utilize those intelligence to worship and glorify the Lord. That is why Srila Prabhupada says, when he came to America, when he came to London, he says that your country's technology advancement is so wonderful, but the soul in your communities is missing. And the soul is devotional aspect. So devotional aspects of India and technology aspects of West, when they come together, then the net result is wonderful. So Srila Prabhupada appreciated the advancement, but he also warned that these advancements are bereft of God consciousness. A third reflection, that when Narsinghadev was going to appear, Prahlad Maharaj has already gone through several tests, not just tests, several iterations of torture. But just because he was put through those torture, just because Prahlad Maharaj was exposed to the kind of disappointments from his fellow teachers and family, it is not that Prahlad Maharaj gave up hopes in Krishna consciousness. Rather, he was more and more hopeful in Krishna consciousness. So my third reflection is about, from the side of Prahlad Maharaj, whilst he saw his father in a completely different state of mind, Prahlad Maharaj realized that in spite of whatever arrogant state of mind my father will be, I have to stay put with my understanding. I have to stay committed with my understanding. I have to stay strong with my understanding. Otherwise, these all so-called modern propaganda is meant to derail us. So Prahlad Maharaj hence adopted a formula, which is the formula that we all can also comprehend and try to apply. The formula is never ever disrespect anyone in this world. But that doesn't mean we have to follow what they say. So I am allowing to disrespect you, but I'm allowing myself to disobey you, but I will never disrespect you. It's a very interesting arrangement. Prahlad Maharaj never once obeyed his father, never once followed his father's instructions, never once, agreed for his father's proposal, even though he was given life threat. Rather, never once he disrespected his dad. Just because you are put through some challenges, just because you are put through certain tribulations, just because you are put through certain, trivial situation, he did not compromise on the principle. So my third reflection is, look at Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu tried with all the agencies. Then Prahlad Maharaj did not relinquish. Hiranyakashipu took it upon himself and said, I will sever your head. You show me your God, then you are finished. Prahlad Maharaj, as smiling, as simple, as humble, as noble as he was smiling and said that my Lord is always here. Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Yato Yami, Tato Narsingha. So, in a devotee's life, what needs to be understood is devotion, devotional service supersedes the material quotient, which means I will never disrespect anyone, but I will also not follow if they are not subscribing to the ideologies of Krishna consciousness. I will be very stern, I will be polite, but at the same time, I will not subscribe. This is something that Prahlad Maharaj very nicely taught. Even though there was a dhamki, there was a threat, there was a pressure put on Prahlad Maharaj, not from one corner, but from various corners, from his Sena, from his teachers, from his friends, from Hiranyakashipu himself. So many people were trying to, confuse him. So my third reflection is about this formula of knowing that when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, when we are a practicing devotee, we should know that I should never ever disrespect any living entity. And when principles are not abided, I may not obey them or follow them, but I will still respect them. So I still respect them makes my position as a humble student, my not subscribing to their views, making me as a sincere and a genuine practitioner. So from that perspective, I will never disrespect, but I may disobey. I may not subscribe to it. If they are not bona fide, if they are not authorized, if they are not recommended. So many a times in our Krishna consciousness, we are looking forward for some bona fide solutions. But we want to say, just being bona fide is not enough. So bona fide, all Prabhupada explains this. All bona fide medicines all it is there in the shop, medical shop. The medicines in the medical shops are all bona fide. But all bona fide medicines are not authorized. Some of them are meant for 5-year-olds. Some of them are meant for 70-year-olds. Some of them are meant for pregnant women. Some of them are meant for somebody. So they are not authorized to be given to everyone and anyone. So even after authorization, there is something called as recommendation. Prescribed by my doctor, prescribed by my authorities. So hence I want to conclude my third reflection by saying Prahlad Maharaj showed extraordinary vigilance, extraordinary resilience, extraordinary devotion, wherein he told his father that Kamaka, you are wasting your time. My Lord is everywhere. And that's when Hiranyakashipu's anger got triggered multi-folded time. Because not only my son is disobeying me, disrespecting me, he is challenging me. That's the third reflection. The fourth and the last reflection from this current context is about Hiranyakashipu going forward in spite of all the so-called warnings and assurances. He is eventually killed by Narsinghadev. And finally, Prahlad Maharaj is offering prayers to Nrsingadev to bestow benediction upon his father. To cut the long story short, the fourth reflection is to say that even a demoniac person who has got a Krishna conscious companion is beneficial at some point in time. In case of Hiranyakashipu, he did everything wrong, bad for Prahlad Maharaj. But Prahlad Maharaj did everything wonderful for Hiranyakashipu. So, in our lives, we need to know that when we are stay put into our actions, consistently working on our actions and intentions, consistently working on our direction of thought, then we are saved from the evil effects of Kali. So my fourth reflection is to say about the unconditional companionship of a devotee is a solace for all our conditioned nature. Prahlad Maharaj, in spite of all the torture, he wished wonderful results for Hiranyakashipu. So in our own lives, it is important for us to associate, to engage, to subscribe, to be with devotees and tolerate our urges. The presence of us in the devotee Sangha will make us somehow get the necessary benefit. I will tell some interesting episode from Tukaram Maharaj's life. Tukaram Maharaj's wife, Tukaram Maharaj's children, Tukaram Maharaj, all the villagers, everybody had an issue with Tukaram Maharaj. Him not going to the job, not doing anything useful. They were constantly accusing him. And Tukaram Maharaj was constantly worshipping, glorifying Vittala. Anika dusare madhanam himatam me miliyarchitam basuniyam pandurangadhyanim Andurangamani Chakritim Swapnim Panduranga. He kept on saying, in my being awake or in a sleep, in a dream or in a conscious state, I have made a sankalpa. I have made a vow that I will be constantly thinking of my Vittala. I have told my mind, Patile Balanam Indriyam Sakalam Bhavato Niralam Nahim Tujam. I have told my senses, I have tuned my senses. It will not give up. It will be dedicated to serve the Lord. Prabhupada writes in the preface of Nectar of Instruction, in all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to learn to control one's mind and senses. Then everything pertaining to understand Krishna consciousness will be revealed. So my fourth and last reflection is that the association with Vaishnavas who are strongly footed, who are very strongly, present in their Krishna consciousness principles, somehow, in spite of our conditioning, if we befriend them, if we associate with them, if we are in their company, there is the highest possibility that we will get rescued from this turmoil. So Prahlad Maharaj's great, wonderful Vaishnava nature not only saved Hiranyakashipu, it also saved all the prajas who were followers of Hiranyakashipu. Not only that, he could save all those prajas, the Lord bestowed him with the benediction that 21 generations will be liberated. So we spoke 4 reflections, 2 of them about Hiranyakashipu and 2 of them about Prahlad Maharaj. And look at the combination, the behavioral pattern is diametrically opposite. In our first reflection, we spoke about how a demoniac, atheistic person thinks. He thinks logically, he thinks beneficial for himself, he thinks only that he could comprehend, and he condemns everything else. And we also said that how these people have superiority complex which overpower them, and they make them believe they are the best and they can challenge anything in this world. And our third and fourth reflection are how Prahlad Maharaj, being a wonderful devotee, very highly rooted to the principles of Krishna consciousness, exemplified in spite of this dhamki, in spite of this threat, in spite of this arrogance by Hiranyakashipu, in spite of all the torture that Hiranyakashipu gave to Prahlad Maharaj showed a very interesting sign of being a respectful son who disobeyed his father's instructions. So in our own devotional life also, in our own personal lives also, we may go through certain similar situations where our family, extended relationships may give us trouble. So we need to know that still we will have to be respectful towards them. We need not, in situations which are detrimental to Krishna consciousness, we need not obey or follow them. And the last but not least, the reflection is about how, by being in the assembly of such a Vaishnava, just by the recommendation of such a Vaishnava, just by the glance of the Vaishnava, just by that, support of the Vaishnava, all our accumulated sinful actions and propensities are immediately burnt off. So Hiranyakashipu, in spite of all this arrogance, he is going to be saved. And thanks to Prahlad Maharaj. So the lessons for us from this context is that never get carried away, never subscribe to these demoniac ideologies just because they are attractive, just because they are emphatic, just because they are convincing. Always follow the procedures, directions given by Vaishnava Acharyas, given by great saintly personalities who speaks out of their own experience. Here in this case, Prahlad Maharaj, in spite of him being a 5-year-old boy, because he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from a bona fide source, from an authorized source, in a very wonderful manner, he is able to sustain all these pressures, and able to give us a wonderful example for practicing Krishna consciousness nicely. Nashta kushtam, rupa pushtam, bhakti tushtam, chakraya. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, Nashta kushtam. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going towards South India, when he happened to meet this Vasudeva, the leopard, so this guy was completely stinking. His entire body had so much of, pain, so much of every pores of his body, pus was oozing out. Nobody wanted to go closer to him. What did Mahaprabhu do? Looked at his heart and gave a tight embrace. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, Nashta Kushtam. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced, the leprosy got cured. Rupa Kushtam, his bodily glow was regained. Bhakti Tushtam, in the heart of Vasudeva, pure devotional service, seed of pure devotional service was sown. So we need to make sure that we follow in the footsteps of great personalities like that of Prahlad Maharaj, and we should emulate a consciousness that as a student follower of such great personalities and trying to apply them in our own life within our capacity. So thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is so wonderful that Hiranyakashipu has finally come to a point of going to be punished, which is actually a blessing for him. So you'll all enjoy Narshikadev's appearance the next couple of days. So, Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Ramgiridhari Prabhu. Thank you, first of all, for coming on the call. You are so busy, so many services, still you give your mercy to Bhakti Sangha Japa group and come and do Hari Katha, which is very important as per also your class. Association is one thing that keeps us out of this, material troubles, because whenever we go there, actually what happens is most of the times we get out of the association of devotees and we get kind of lost out there, and it's only devotee and devotee association and the service which can bring us back to Krishna, nothing else. Otherwise we are bewildered only. And you beautifully said the one thing we should study and learn in terms of Shastras. Of course, we all have our degrees and scholastic uh, duties. That's different story. But in the matter of going back to Godhead, what is the real tattva of life? We should listen to only our acharyas and our guru vargas and shastras, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita. So that will give us the real prema, the real meaning of life only. It's very beautiful, Prabhuji, very beautiful. And yes, as you said, in a few days we'll see appearance of Narasimha. So everybody will be happy. Everybody is waiting for that point only, Prabhu. I was thinking, Prabhu, I had a question. How you can manage, Prabhu, so many services? Because the thing is, uh, when we are especially talking of myself, when we are new in bhakti, you are not new. You are serving ISKCON almost as many years as I am in this body. This material body. You are serving ISKCON, Guru Maharaj. You are serving all these duties you are having. But Prabhu, how to manage all these, when the services are so many, right? Initially you're very enthusiastic, you want to do this, you want to do that, because out of love of Guru Maharaj and out of love of service itself. But then, Prabhu, at a certain point, you think, Arey Baba, it's now getting too much, kids service, classes, preparation for this. Rath Yatra is coming, getting donations for a temple and here and there. So, sometimes it's get too much. So how to, Prabhu, handle this accordingly, and how to, sometime, I don't know, saying no to service is, like how you'd say no. But then in the end of the day, you want to do perfect service. You don't want to do something which is in the middle, and Srila Prabhupada is watching you. Arey Baba, what are you doing? You're supposed to do this correctly, but then there is too much. So how to, Prabhu, handle this path of life where the service comes, you want to do it, but then you want to also do it very nicely. So you don't want to have, too much on your plate.
First of all, thank you so much for your kind words, and all glory to Srila Prabhupada. I would say in terms of the services, my understanding is that there is no other alternative, I have or we have for us to sustain our Krishna consciousness, because Prabhupada writes in the introduction to Nectar of Devotion that consciousness alone won't help us. We need to have some cultivation. And Prabhupada explicitly writes cultivation means some sort of an action in Krishna consciousness. Whenever we use the word seva, we can always replace them with 4 words. One is devotion, which is bhakti, because bhakti means seva, seva means bhakti. One is, we can always use it as mercy, because seva is a mercy. One is, when you use the word seva, which means we can always use the word cooperation, because for us to perform the service, we have to have cooperation of all our senses within ourselves. We have to cooperate amongst others. And finally, seva is just not lip service. It is actually physically, apart from giving a lecture, there are other services where I participate, you participate, everyone participates. So I'm just giving a principle. I'm not saying this is all what I subscribe to or I follow myself, but this is something that as a principle that we are taught. The devotional service is our underlying, constitutional nature. Now, being a Mumbaiker, we are taught how to survive in the hectic, or what you call us, I give this example of boarding the Mumbai train. So if you want to board a Mumbai train in Monday morning in Kurla Andheri station, so there is a technique. You make sure that you have somebody in front of you, you have somebody behind you, and you are in front of the gate. You don't need to do anything. So in my case, it's like that. I have some seniors who are sitting on top of me, and I have some, some friends and some family and devotees who are behind me to push me forward. So, and I am in the right track, so things are moving forward. On my own, I am not doing anything. So it is very simple formula that always sandwich yourself between a senior devotee as well as somebody junior to you, and also some friends. Senior devotee for giving you direction and making sure, keep a check on you. Juniors will look up to you and you are already exposed. You cannot underperform. In my yatra here, there are at least 200 devotees near my neighborhood. I used to jokingly say, if I go to any shop here there to have some sort of a Golgappa ice cream without anybody knowing, I cannot have, because your multiple eyes are always watching you. So it is very important that know your own conditioning and put yourself in such a shoes that that situation will overpower your conditioning. So if at all there is any service that I am doing, the credit is not to me. The credit is to my aage, to my piche. So they are pushing me inside, so I am going in. And if it is not happening, then the mistake is mine, because I have gone little side mein hat gaya, so main akele reh gaya. That is the simple philosophical understanding. I do not want to dwell more on my services and my grade, because I know what I am doing and how bad I am doing. But yes, this is a very important agenda that as devotees, I have seen we are all interested in hearing Krishna Katha, we are interested in attending retreat and so many things. But when it comes to accountable, committed, responsible, consistent service, so we have some challenges. And that is very important for our onward Krishna consciousness. Okay?
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. That was so beautiful, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I'm glad I asked that, because Yeah, that is the essence, Prabhu. Seniors who are guiding you and juniors who are behind you, and then you have a pressure to perform. And that's true, Prabhu. We see that while we are, being given service of speaking something on Krishna Katha, or, we are in reading classes, or we are in japa sessions, wherever we are, we should want to be example in front of especially newcomers and senior and the juniors. And then, of course, seniors always guide us, Prabhuji. So beautiful, Prabhu. So beautiful. So beautiful.
Prabhu, in corporate world, they are doing exactly the same. In corporate world, will they give you any free space? If somebody is giving you 200,000 rupees, they will see to that they make 500,000 rupees of you. So they will see to that how to make you billable, how to make you accountable, how to make you responsible. And because we are getting those 200,000 rupees, we are making sure that we will not be able to deny them, even though I may want to relax and may want to take it lighter. So if for some small materialistic things, if we are able to stretch ourselves, extend ourselves, why not for Krishna? And for a good reason. Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction in one place that if you are non-duplicit, if you are sincere in your sentiments, then Krishna gives you all necessary enablers to perform devotional life. He will be after you, and so much he will give you. Just that we need to be making sure that we are non-duplicit in our endeavor. That's all. Thank you.
Very beautiful, Prabhu. Very beautiful. Yes, duplicity is one thing that we all should avoid. I loved that example of train, Prabhu, Mumbai train. I need to be once, Prabhu. And maybe you can stay with me, Prabhu. I just follow your footsteps, Prabhu, over there. So in sense, in the Mumbai train also and in the Bhakti also, you can stay in the front. I'll follow you. And with some juniors in the behind, I'll just stay and I'll go in the train right away, Prabhu, without any troubles. So this train of Gauranga Mahaprabhu will be caught only by your mercy, Prabhu, only by mercy of senior devotees and Guru
We give this
Maharaj.
example all the time. Many times in this material world, people think that they are functioning actively and performing, and the example is given is running inside the running train. The train is running in the direction. Suppose somebody runs in the train, oh my God, I have to reach my destination faster. You can't, because you are destined to suffer or be happy within your allowed quota. So material happiness, material endeavor, they are like running inside a running train.
So beautiful.
But endeavor in Krishna consciousness is walking on an escalator on the road. Because in the airport, there are escalators, walking escalator. So walking escalator helps you to move also as you move. So instead of running inside the running train, let us walk on the walking escalator. At least it will move. It will help you move forward. So we will not get stuck in a place. So Vaishnavas are like escalators. You just, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu once went to Prabhupada and asked Srila Prabhupada, which is more important, book Bhagavata or devotee Bhagavata? Prabhupada said in a very humorous manner, devotee Bhagavata are very important because they will tweak your ears and drag you to the lotus feet of Krishna. So it is very practical from that perspective that when we say lend your ears to a Vaishnava, it means two things. Hear from them and allow them to be tweaked when you are going wrong.
Haribol, Haribol. Haribol, Haribol. One day, Prabhu, I will come to Mumbai and you tweak my hairs, please. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there is a Param Pavini Mataji with her hand raised. With your permission,
Sure.
Prabhu. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Param Pavini Mataji, Hare Krishna. Can you unmute yourself? Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you. Prabhuji, you just explained that how Prahlad Maharaj have respected but didn't obey, like respect and disobey, and that's the instruction or the comments of his father. Prabhuji, how we can during book distribution, sometimes we face that some people become very angry, and they say, oh, this, that, we don't believe in God, we believe holy Bible, these are all, is they give all bad words sometimes. So how to respect means what should be our response to that, to follow Prahlad Maharaj's way. Like, we, of course, we do not obey them because we know, but how to show respect and come away. Sometimes uh, uh, you know feel angry inside and don't talk anything and just stay quiet and come back. But like, is that an appropriate way, or is a better way to handle this? Can you please enlighten? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada has said this: hate the sin, but not the sinner. He says that whenever you are having any bad experience or any such scenario, it is always important to understand what the other person is up to. If somebody is materially intoxicated, what more you can expect from such people, because they are saying this out of ignorance. You do not have any personal vengeance or enmity towards him, neither he or she knew you before. The way Prahlad Maharaj could remain calm was that he knew that my father is ignorant, by choice or by force, anyway. Jesus Christ, when he was crucified, he said, please forgive all those guys who are doing this, because they themselves don't know what they are doing. I am sure, if I were not Krishna conscious and I am in Mumbai and no family member of mine are watching over me and I have money, what do you think I will be doing on a weekend? Some sane activity? No, I will be a rascal. I will be roaming around, enjoying things. The point is, we are in a better position because of somebody's help. I used to always think this. I also, through my own tantrums, my own, childishness, my own novice, my own, kind of, funny behavior, somebody tolerated me. Somebody accommodated me. Somebody gave me piecemeal. So, I'm not only talking about book distribution, but in general, anyone. That is why I said seva means, number one, prema, bhakti. Number two is mercy, because it is mercy for you and mercy for others. And number three is cooperation within yourself as well as cooperation amongst devotees. And more so is action in Krishna consciousness. It is not just consciousness, it is action. All the four together. So when you talk about, mercy, what mercy is beyond, you have to look at him, empathize what he or she is up to. And to give you a specific solution for book distribution, which Prabhupada always recommends, that when you go out for book distribution, it is in general always better to go as a team, especially when you are, when you are not so confident, or when you are getting agitated by some, arrogant behavior of some people. And third and last point is, if at any point in time, if somebody is arrogant and the response is kindness, third instance he will change. First instance he may not change. Second instance he may not change. Third instance, oh my God, this guy is up to something. Because I am getting arrogant, I am getting violent. He knew for some reason, but still this guy is showing me love. There are zillion, book distribution stories where how devotees' kindness have transformed the people's life. Zillion, not one, two. Zillion stories are there. So I am sure when somebody is, trying to behave rudely, maybe Krishna is trying to tease you, saying that let me see how this girl is, catching up to this. Maybe Krishna is trying to help you, saying that, hey, be merciful. Somebody was merciful to you. Krishna is trying to tell you that you are also not an easy candidate. It's not that you sat in a dream, suddenly Krishna appeared, hey, I give you blessings, you become a devotee. It didn't happen like that. Somehow, somebody had worked on you to become a devotee. So we may also have to work on somebody to make them devotee. That's the legacy. Okay?
Hari Bol, Param Pavani. Mataji, you are muted. Mataji, you are muted. We can't hear you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It is very helpful response. I will keep it. Remember that if someone else was not kind to me, I will not be a devotee. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Param Pavani Mataji, you are very, very pure devotee, very beautiful questions you ask. I'm thinking this must be Shamagori Mataji who caught you somewhere from Charlotte because you say you are from Charlotte.
She is from New Jersey, I think.
Jersey.
We met in
Baltimore, Mataji, Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah,
Baltimore. Mataji, I have one memory from Baltimore that should stay with me until this last breath is there, because I was initiated in Baltimore by Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I flew to Baltimore actually from Calgary because Maharaj was there.
Yeah.
Very beautiful deities are there, Mataji. Very beautiful deities. Hari Bol, Mataji. Thank you for being with us, Mataji. That's a very beautiful question. We all face that sometime, but we all also face so much happiness when we give a Bhagavad Gita to someone. That happiness cannot be compared to anything else when we give a Bhagavad Gita to someone and we thank Srila Prabhupada and we thank Guru Maharaj that you gave us so much strength that we were able to give to a stranger a Bhagavad Gita, and get out some Lakshmi from him, which is again used in service of Krishna only. So how big of a satisfaction this is, Mataji. Very beautiful question and very beautiful answer, Prabhu. That Trinadapi Sunichena that we chant every morning is not just to chant, but is to apply on us, Prabhu. Very beautiful answer, Prabhu. And that is one thing that will just give us satisfaction. You imagine somebody is slapping us like this and we saying, oh Krishna, it is okay. It is my fault. I must have done this sometime. And that will give us satisfaction only. Only that will give us satisfaction, nothing else. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for being with us, Prabhu. Shamagori Mataji, please say
Hare
two.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranama, Gaurish to Srila Prabhupada. Very wonderful class, Prabhuji. Always you give the reflections for the class and very nice examples, Prabhuji, and very beautiful answers. Thank you so much.
All worship Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, dear devotees, Prabhu usually comes on the mid-morning classes, but today his mercy is on Srimad Bhagavatam class too. So that's very nice of him.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for coming on the call, accepting our request. Very grateful to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
The blessings from you. Thank you, Mataji.
So, dear devotees, if nobody has any more questions or reflections, we can pay our obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Prabhujis and end the call here. Is that okay? Yes. Somebody has put in the chat box. Okay. Thank you for inspiring class, Prabhu, and also Jyoti Mataji saying.
Preeti Vilasini Mataji, that chat messages. Bhakti
What?
Sangha is Preeti Vilasini Mataji.
Bhakti Sangha, of course, is Preeti Vilasini Mataji. No doubt about that. Let us know our obeisances. Vancha kalaptaru.
Vancha kalpatarubhyaksha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai.
Prabhupada ji ki
Thank you,
jai.
Prabhuji.
Jai.
Grace Ramgiridhari
Thank you,
Prabhu ji
Prabhuji.
ki
Radhe,
jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so
Radhe,
much.
Radhe.
God bless you. Hare Krishna.
And
Gauranga.
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 Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Haribol. Thank you, dear
Hari
devotees.
bol.
Closing the call.